It's a sad thing in this day and age. Women today feel like that it's more responsibility on the man for them becoming single mothers. Today, they feel like it's more responsibility on the man to put the condom on the man to initiate everything, a man to make sure they use protection and not busting them. They depending on all that, putting all the onus on him. They not. I remember back in the day, women used to be like, "Look, no glove, no love." I remember because they knew the gravity of that. Women didn't give their body to everybody. And people who's honest, we understand this. This is a new phenomena. Free sex, like now, this had its beginnings years ago, but we're just at the end of that. Everything, all of that set into motion years ago has came to its full fruition now. It's bared its full fruit. Right now, you're seeing the aftermath of the free sex society. Of course, the stuff that was happening in the 70s, a lot of this stuff was going on. 60s and 70s it began. You had feminism come in. And when feminism came in, it came with the rise of more abortions. Came with the rise of more single motherhood. That's all feminism did. Feminism didn't strengthen society. It didn't strengthen American society. It didn't strengthen the camaraderie between men and between men and women and women and men. It didn't strengthen the family unit, which keeps the structure of America intact. That's what families are for. You need men and women to raise normal, productive citizens. That's what you need men and women to do. They produce productive, normal, happy, healthy citizens. That's what they're supposed to do. And that takes work. That takes nurturing. That takes years of work, of parenting. You understand the saying that it takes a village to raise a child? A lot of men today are paying for other people's children. That's where a lot of money and infrastructure is going to the country, is to a lot of people's children out of wedlock. And a lot of this is due to, these are oops babies. These are due to women not being the gatekeepers of their own bodies. Men as well have a hand in doing this, but we're not talking about the men right now. It's easy for the man to have children and run off and not necessarily be there to take care of the children. This has happened before. Like a guy could just run off. He doesn't have, like, he may get put on child support, but he doesn't have to work. It's a lot of gravity, and women got to understand this. It's a lot of gravity and responsibility that comes with raising the child, actually being the one present. Yeah, a lot of responsibility falls on you because you're the one there. Again, and you should have chose a better partner. You have to do, there's exceptions, but there's two, the majority of women are single mothers today. You have to, this one thing to be exception to the rule, but to have this be the actual rule, like single motherhood is the goal. No, that's foolish, and we doing a society a disservice. That's some dysfunctional stuff, and that comes from the black community. The white community don't believe in single motherhood. They don't look at that as being a badge of honor. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you still have that going on. I mean, it ends up happening. But when that happens, they look at that as being a loss, like a fail. They look at that as being a failure. They failed in one aspect of life. And Hispanics as well. I mean, this is again stems from black culture, hip hop culture. You always say, I'm F-R-E-E-F nigga free, but they don't never tell you that they got the F nigga baby. Like you not free from that F nigga because you got his child, so you got to deal with him for life. You just saw the viral TikTok video of that woman crying, telling women that having a kid is not no joke. Don't be just trying to have no child because you need somebody to love you, or you lonely or something like that, or you think it's a trend, because you have to take care of that child for 18 years. You also tied to the person whom you had that child with for life, not just 18 years. You're tied with them for life. When you go to things and events, they're gonna be there. You know, when your child is sick or they get sick, you gonna go to the hospital and then whoop, they're there. You understand? It's no, you can't avoid them, and you know you can't try to and that's another thing. You can't try to detach the child and a part of yourself from that person. That's a part of them too. That's why the Lord say when you join with a person, y'all have sex and y'all in a relationship, the two becomes one. See, that's why God recognizes sex as consummated marriage. You didn't join that person. That's when, because a life can come out of that. A child is part of the man and part of the woman. You know, you need the man's seed to get pregnant. Women understand this. Without the seed, no baby. The brat just had a baby, and she have a whole girlfriend. Where the daddy at? You know, that child, even just because you have some in vitro fertilization, don't just try to look at that as just being this ain't no immaculate conception. This ain't just the seed coming from nowhere or just manifesting out the lab. No, that seed came from a man's nuts. So the brat is impregnated with a man's seed. See, women gotta understand, like, start being more protective of your bodies. Like, I'm not talking about the brat. I'm talking about like just having men having babies the natural way, having sex with men, multiple men, getting pregnant. You having sex with these men raw. What do you think can come from that? Like, you can definitely get pregnant if you're letting men have sex with you raw, bust up in you, unless you understand that you just had a hysterectomy or something like that. You shouldn't be doing it. Now, if you don't have any more eggs and then you can't get pregnant, whatever. I'm not talking about you. But for the women who know they fertile as ever, they know that one sperm cell just touch them that they finna get pregnant. Why do you not gatekeep your own body? Why do you not protect your own body with the utmost scrutiny? That's why the Lord tries to edify you, but you run from that. You don't like the edification from God. God looks at your body as a temple, a part of him. Like it's a pure temple. You shouldn't be getting your body defiled. He doesn't just say that for men. It's for men and women. As a woman, you should respect your body. You don't like showing your body off to every random man selling sex. That's not respecting your body. Letting every man who just enter you with no condom or taking in all of this DNA, you're not respecting your body. Letting men ejaculate inside you, and then having babies, by random guys who you don't love, you're not in a relationship with, you're not respecting your body. No, you're just not. And see, that's why when you hear men telling you about, preaching the gospel and telling you about God and how he feel about things, women are ashamed. They don't want to hear that because it's shameful. Because they know that they should be ashamed of the way that they're carrying themselves under God. When I was coming up, no matter what, like I said, I've seen it with my own eyes. Like I've seen these things, experienced these things. And I've talked with other men who've experienced these same things. Like I've seen it with my own eyes, so you can't tell me anything. Women used to have, especially black women, like they had a code that they held to they had a code of being strictly dickly. They weren't all into the LGBT community like that, by and large. They had a code of no glove, no love. If you trying to get some, even if she do give you some, or that's your girlfriend and y'all getting it in, niggas gonna have to use some protection if you don't want babies. You understand? Or you gonna have to pull out or do something like that. She was gonna make sure that you did these things. That's what, she was harping on it. She was the one who was pushing that narrative. That she was the one not the men. The men was, can I take off let me take off the condom. Let me just go ahead and slide up in. Let me do this. Let me do that. The men used to have to try to coax that. And for the most part, the shit didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Nigga had to, they were strict on that because they understand that was protection for you and her. That was protection for both of y'all. Nowadays, women, like I said, they're not even prepared to protect themselves. So you guys who just y'all who be gullible Joe and just go fall up in the booty, it's gullible Joe, and you just go up in there and fall right into the trap. It's not hard to trap niggas today. So like if a chick want to get money out of a dude and trap him with a baby, it's not hard because guys are so gullible. You understand? They just go into this. Of course, they just want some coochie, so they gon' and of course they want some raw coochie. Nigga don't care about, they don't think down the line. Like that foreknowledge and foresight all goes out of the window when booty gets involved. Cause niggas don't start thinking about you finna get taxed with child support. You could be entering this woman and she could have a disease. She could be learning the man, burning the man. Like Snoop say, all of these things could be going on, but your mind is just on get some coochie, some raw cooch. Time to grow up, man. Time for you to grow up as a man. But as a woman, you are an intake vessel. Like you're letting people enter in and out of you. You don't know where they've been. You don't have you don't really care about these men. You don't love these men. You know that they can ejaculate in you. Like once they on top of you raw, anything can happen. You don't, go do anything. You don't take any precautions. You're not on birth control. You don't have you're not using a diaphragm. You don't know about the morning after pill. You don't use that. Once a dude's like, now I don't advise, abortions or morning after pills. You shouldn't have to do that. You should already have taken the precautions where you don't have to do that. Again, pulling out is even a precaution. But if if you know a guy have ejaculated in you, then and you don't want kids, then you do have the morning after pill solution. So there is no excuse for women having babies out of wedlock and a bunch of single motherhood. The thing is the country itself makes an excuse for that. That's why they have us to pay for it. Single men and women, people who don't even have kids, people trying to do, who working doing their own thing. We paying for y'all kids. We paying for taxes and stuff, extra taxes for schools and stuff for people's bastard children. Women just having about 4 kids, single mothers. The woman I was just talking about, the brat who with the brat, she got 4 kids. Flip-flopping. Women flip-flop from men to women, the men and women having children. If you don't have no husband, you shouldn't be having kids. Point blank, period. That's how we gonna cut it. If you don't have a husband, no children. You understand? Just go out there and freak off, have freak parties, do all the stuff you do, but do not involve kids, man. You understand? Like that there is when it's a problem, because somebody have to take care of them. These people don't want to raise their children these days. They want to put everything off on everybody else. Well, no, you got to be the gatekeeper of your own body as a woman. And you need to be smarter and more responsible. Women aren't being responsible today. I'm going to keep it real. Because they feel like, there's so many cushions and pillowy clouds that's going to fail safe them for the children's sake. But see, times before, the reason, and a lot of the reasons why times were like they were, is because, and women acted the way they did, is because back in the day, if you have children out of wedlock, you just would have been on your own. You just would have been on your own to struggle. Hey, could you imagine that? You have a kid and now that's just your biggest burden. We take the brunt of your burden. Even though it's still hard, you had that woman crying because she have to not only raise her child, but she got to deal with the person, who she had the child with for life. So understand the seriousness of that. With that being said, it's your man, Nico B, Black Effect. Go.